In the newest video of the Headrush pedalboard series, we're going to talk all about delay. Hey guys, I'm Dr. McFarland and welcome back to the channel. I've seen a lot of questions here in the last year or so about delay, delay types, delay subdivisions, and how all that works within the Headrush pedalboard. Now keep in mind that these are all concepts that you can use for any gear that you have. So whether you have a Helix or maybe a Boss digital delay, or like the DD5, DD7, or Strymon timelines, or whatever delay pedals that you have, it's all going to work across the board. So the first delay we're going to look at is the basic bucket brigade delay. And you can see that I have some presets in here already. So if I bring this one in, you can see that the delay is set to 1/4. So we know in 4/4 time in music terms, that is referencing to the top note is 4 beats a measure, and the bottom note is actually referring to a quarter note subdivision, because you can have 4 quarters within a 4 beat measure. So 1/4 is just going to give you 1 quarter note. That's what this is going to sound like. Alright, now the feedback is how many repeats you are going to get of that single note. So if I have it on 0, alright, you're just going to get 1 repeat. If I start bringing this up, alright, still messing with 1. Alright, so now we got a little bit more, but it's going to trail off the more repeats it has. Alright, we can adjust the mix time of that, so if you want to hear it more. Alright, or we can hear it a lot less. Alright, so where it's just barely there in the mix. So I like to keep my delays and reverb somewhere between 20 and 30%, just depending on what kind of effect I'm going for. Alright, and since this is set to sync via the sync on or sync off, okay, I can tap in my tempo, and it's currently 133 beats per minute. Alright, and that's what the delay is going to do. It's going to play a chord note after the initial attack of your string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Another thing that we can do is let's go ahead and add in our 3/16 delay. Alright, let's actually make it a different color. Let's make it purple. And we have 3/16. So what that actually means is you can have 4 quarter notes in a whole note. Alright. You can have 2 half notes in a whole note. Half of a quarter is an eighth. So you can actually have 2 eighths going to 1 quarter note. And you can have 2 sixteenths going into an eighth note. When you have 3 sixteenths, that is what we call a dotted eighth. But for the Headrush, it's telling you that if you have a 3/16, that is a dotted eighth note, because the dot adds half of the original duration back onto the note. So if you have 1/8 note, half of an eighth is a 16th, and 2 sixteenths actually go into an eighth. So when you add the 2 sixteenths, it goes into the eighth, and then the dot, which is adding half of the eighth note back onto the note, you actually have 3 16th notes. So now I'm going to play a note, and you're going to hear the repeat every 3 sixteenths. Let's tap it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's bring up the mix and the feedback. Ba 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 ba. 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 3. Okay. Now, what's going to happen if we combine the 3/16 and the quarter note delay together? This is what that sounds like. All right, and then we're actually going to move the quarter note after the 3/16, and this is what that sounds like. So that's how you get the coveted U2 sound, by combining the quarter note and the 3/16 delay and putting them together. And it sometimes sounds really cool if you do that in parallel as well. So we'll do that here in a second, but I just want to play through this a little bit more. All right, so it sounds good that way. And if we put the quarter note after the 3/16, all right, that does sound good. So let's actually get rid of these. And let's do the same thing with a digital delay. And we're going to do a dyne delay. And I have a 3/16 preset. And I'm going to go in and add two of the same and then just change the setting here to 1/4. And we'll make the 3/16 purple again, so that way we know which one we're working with. So now we have the quarter after the 3/16, and I'm going to tap it in. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, and let's make the feedback a little bit more so it trails off more. Oh yeah. Pretty cool. All right, what's going to happen if we add in another delay? Let's do a bucket brigade. We'll make this one 1/2, which is actually a half note. So check this out. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's turn these other ones off. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so if I add back in my quarters, now I should have a half note and a quarter note together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then add in my 3/16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, let's add the half note after the quarter. We'll make a half note be orange, just so we know what we're looking at. So we got 3/16 in purple, quarter note in green, and then half note in orange. All right, now it's important to know that when I'm actually striking the string, I'm doing that in a 8th note fashion. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So 1. All right, so now let's look at the quarter note once again. And we're going to actually play in a dotted 8th kind of syncopated feel. And we're going to hear how the quarter note reacts to my syncopated playing. So. So I'm going ba 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 ba. You can hear how the delay in quarter notes trails off in a 3/16 fashion, just like I would have it set to a 3/16 division. All right, so let's turn that one off, and let's do the same thing with the 3/16. Let's see what it does. So. So in that fashion, you really don't hear the delay stick out as much as the quarter note, because I'm actually playing in the same subdivision type that the dotted eighth is actually doing itself, because I'm playing syncopated and the 3/16 is also syncopated. So it doesn't sound as cool if you were to play in a syncopated way and actually use a quarter note instead of a 3/16. Let's see what happens if I do that with a half note. Alright, that's kind of too much fun. So what we're going to do now is let's look at how Brian May and some other guys from the classic rock days would use delays in their solos. So what they did was they would harmonize their notes based on the delay itself. So let me play a little bit in the D major scale and show you what I mean. All right, let's do this with the half note. So you can hear that I went into a syncopated way of playing it, and it kind of made this cool vampy kind of thing. So all right, let's go to our quarter note. And let's add in the 3/16. Alright, so now what we're going to do is add in something called a smart harmony. Alright, and what we can do with this is we can have the sync on, and we have our two delay settings right here for the voicing. And if you double tap on the screen, you can see that we can set voicing 1 to an octave, and then voicing 2 can be the fifth. And we can actually adjust the level of voice 2. And we can do a detune thing or a pitch glide, but we're actually going to set the delay to a quarter note and a 3/16. So we're in the key of D. Watch this. Alright, so let's have that be a harmony, and let's add in a half note delay. Add in our quarter note. And this can be a fun way to add a shimmer effect. If we kind of adjust the mix a little bit here, maybe detune the voicing a little bit, like so. Alright guys, so that was my video on delay and all the fun ways that you can use them to make your own music. So if you haven't done so already, feel free to subscribe down below and click that bell icon so you'll be notified every time I release new content. So in the meantime, I am Dr. McFarland. I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.